top 3 tight ends in the 2023 NFL draft. Justin, if you want, hit your list 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, however you want to do it. I'll go with mine. We'll kind of obviously go back and forth and then get out of here. But I want to make sure we can both get our lists across. So give me your top 3 tight ends in the NFL draft that we have in like 4 weeks. Crazy.
Oh, for sure. So I'll give special mention and just name them. Your school, Georgia, kid Darnell Washington.
Crazy.
Iowa, you can't ever pass up an Iowa tight end. It looked through like Iowa just produces tight end. So this guy Sam Laporte, I think that's how he pronounced his name. Like any tight end coming out of Iowa. So those are my 2 honorable mentions, right? But coming from 3 to 2 to 1.
Oh, Justin just dropped out. Let me get him back in here. Oh, there he goes. For some reason, I can't see y'all's comments either. What's up, Justin?
So sorry, don't know what happened. So like as I was saying,
good.
right? Luke Musgrave from Oregon State, Michael Mayer from Notre Dame, and I guess everyone's undoubtable number 1, Dalton Kincaid from Utah. Like, I have some question marks, but I'll let you shoot your 3, and then we can go back and forth. But yeah, those 3.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm getting some comments on Facebook that I'm not seeing, so I'm going to pop over and look. Aiden O'Connell asks, is Lamar really as valuable as he thinks, given the risk involved with his gameplay? We'll get you in a minute, Aiden. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anyone's comments here. Give me just 1 second, Justin. I don't know why they're not pulling up. People were saying they didn't get the notification either.
That's weird.
What's it called?
I got a notification.
Yeah, I just want to check real quick because obviously the chat is a really important part. I mean, I'm really right there with you. I'll give a little bit of explanation on mine as well. The one thing that's really going to change for me, let me make sure I get this muted so I'm not pulling a rookie move. The one thing that's really going to change for me is instead of the Iowa tight end that you have. So I've got Michael Mayer, I've got Dalton Kincaid from Utah, and then I've got Darnell Washington as well. Taylor, as always, babe, thanks for hopping in. She said, good to see you guys. Good to see you, Justin. If Lamar goes to the Falcons, I'm going to ball up in a corner and cry. All right, I can see you guys' comments now. I just might have to moderate them a little bit, but bear with me. I don't know why it's not coming through. I've always seen the chat, but I guess, technology is technology. Okay, so the top 3 tight ends in the draft. Number 3 for me is going to be Michael Mayer. He's a really solid guy, and a lot of people have him at their number 1, junior out of Notre Dame, 6'4", 265. PFF actually had him at a 92.5 grade for the year, and actually number 1 on their list as well. They think he's a first-round pick, and I can agree as well. Some are saying we could have 3, maybe 4 tight ends go in the first round, which I think would be crazy. I think we can see 2 for sure. But again, 6'4", 265 type of frame for Mayer. He's not going to be, your big Kyle Pitts or your George Kittle, type of prototype, or even a Travis Kelce or a Darren Waller, like a lot of people want to see in the league. When you look at his play, it's kind of similar to Jason Witten in a way. Mayer's not going to have that speed that burns you down the field. He is running about a 4.7, a 4.71, I believe, in the 40. But great size. The guy's clearly an athlete, and you look at that. He had over 800 yards in each of the last 2 seasons at Notre Dame. 138 catches and 16 touchdowns over that span. And even without him being a burner as a tight end, 20 receptions on targets, 10-plus yards down the field, which led the draft class. Number 2, so Michael Mayer was number 3. Number 2 for me is going to be Dalton Kincaid. And when you look at this guy's tape, it's really like a wide receiver in a tight end's body. He lines up in the slot a lot. I think 55% of the time, actually, he lines up in the slot. He led the entire FBS, 70 catches, 890 yards during the regular season, 89.9 grade from PFF as well. So they see the athleticism. They see the speed. He's going to be kind of the same speed as Michael Mayer, but the fact that he is at 6'4", 240, kind of that slimmer build and just the way he plays, it's really going to be advantageous for him. He's got good hands. Again, coming out of the slot, you can have him on the line. He isn't going to be touted for his run blocking ability, kind of like Michael Mayer. But when you look at, Darren Waller, George Kittle, who is one of the few that can block, but if you're looking at a, Travis Kelce, a Kyle Pitts, guys aren't really touted in the NFL for blocking because it's a pass-happy league, and that's, of course, what you want to see. So Dalton Kincaid would be excellent in that facet. Just wanted to make sure. I thought I heard you fall out, Justin, but you're still there. And the number 1 is going to be Darnell Washington out of Georgia, an absolute monster with the frame and size. Junior, 6'7", 269 pounds, and he actually ran a faster 40 than Michael Mayer, and Dalton Kincaid ran a 4.64 at 6'7", 269 pounds. And this is a guy that can block, but he's also got ball skills as well. Again, when you look at a guy with this type of height, with this type of hands. He's not going to burn you, but he does have good speed for a tight end. He's not going to absolutely break you on routes, but he will go up and high point a football. He will put his body on the line. And just playing in the SEC against those defenses with the schedule that Georgia's been up against, you can't knock what he's done. A massive, massive catch radius and an 81.4 run blocking grade, which was fifth among FBS tight ends this year. Again, 6'7", 270 pounds. Feels kind of almost impossible to block in a way, but nonetheless, Darnell Washington, number 1, Dalton Kincaid, number 2, Michael Mayer, number 3. And who were your 3 again, Justin? Just want to make sure.
Hold on. Let me go back and make sure. Yeah, I didn't have Darnell Washington in my 3. I had Luke Musgrave from Oregon State in as number 3. So like there, everyone like any other player, Michael Mayer might. I have some question marks. Like he may be the most complete tight end of the lot, simply because you know me, Adam. I'm an old school football guy, and he's a guy that can get his hands in the ground and run block. So that means that he's going to be on the field all 3-4 downs. And if you can run block as a tight end, then you obviously know that you're not going to be able to predict just by formation. I say that to say like you can tell when Kansas City is going to run the football because oftentimes you're going to take out the tight end. Here you can sit down and say, all right, what are they going to do just by formation alone? You can leave in the tight end. So I like him in that regard, but the problem with Mayer, I think, is that when you look through like the measurables, he has like shorter arms. He's not explosive off the lane. You know, he doesn't really high point in football. And like you said, in today's pass happy league, that's what you want. So that's why you have Kincaid above all of them. Like he's a former basketball player, I think. So like he has a height, he has a size. The arms are ridiculous. Yep, true athlete. Very, very smooth route runner in and out his routes. Explosive off the lane and high points footballs. That's telling you everything you want with a tight end. I have no problem with you putting him at 2, simply because though there seems to be concerns he has a small crack in his back, and I don't like injured players. Like injured players typically get injured, and he has that crack in his back, and I don't think he's played more than 15 games at the college level, and he only played 1 season of football at the high school level. So there's those question marks, but in terms of his upside, I like Kincaid over everyone else.
Yeah, Kincaid, I mean, he's not exactly Kyle Pitts in a tight end. I don't know if we'll ever see that again, but he does have kind of some similarities, being in the slot, having the slim build, but still being big enough to have some speed and also have a big catch radius. I mean, that's what tight ends have to be now. You know, you used to have guys that were like, okay, when Tony Gonzalez and Antonio Gates and Jimmy Graham were out there catching, for yards or just even 800 or 900, that was massive. And then you had those guys jumping to 12, 13, 1,400-yard seasons, and now you see tight ends in today's league. And when you start to look into the draft class, you are seeing a lot of tight ends that can play in today's NFL. They are just going to need to be refined because, of course, we know there's no such thing as a perfect prospect, whether you're looking at Andrew Luck, Trevor Lawrence, no matter the player, they're going to have flaws. So, yeah, guys, that is the top 3 tight ends for almost at top 10. Way too many to go there. The top 3 tight ends here for us in the 2023 NFL draft. I don't know why I can't see your guys' comments inside the actual streaming platform. They usually come up. That's why I can put them on the screen, but I am filtering on YouTube. So before we hit the break, just want to make sure I can get those comments. And here's a good one. Michael Darby asks, if Michael Mayer goes to the Saints, does he become... I'm assuming you meant can't guard, Mike, but I feel like you're actually asking, would he be a good spot for the Saints to land? I would say, yeah. I mean, every quarterback is better with a tight end. I would have loved to get Darren Waller. I didn't even think of that at first with Darren Waller because I didn't think he was going to get traded, but he did. I would have liked him to come to the Saints, but if Derek Carr can have a young tight end out of college that's willing to get some reps and catch some passes, then I think Mayer would be solid. What say you, Justin?
The only concern I have in that depends on the offense you're running. Like, I like Mayer as a run blocking tight end. I absolutely like. My concerns with him is his inability to separate. Like, he looked good in college, but then when you look at that frame, you look at the lack of explosiveness. I don't think he's going to be able to separate, especially in his rookie season, and that may be a problem. Like, if you're looking at him in terms of establishing an Alvin
Okay, so apparently whenever I bring the chat overlay up, it pops him out. Sorry, guys. I'm actually the one popping you out by accident, man. It's when
Oh,
I bring
really?
up the chat overlay. Yeah, I don't know why it pops you out, but hey, we're learning new stuff. You're good though. Go ahead.
Like, yeah, if you're looking to establish your run like Alvin Kamara, et cetera, then yeah, Michael Myers is your guy. But if you're talking about, like improving or adding to the run game, or sorry, the pass game and helping out Derek Carr in short yardage situations, like I am not sold on his ability to separate at this level.
Yeah, yeah, and that has been some of I saw some of that too in his notables about the scouting report and everything that they would like him to get some more separation so he can be more on that level. But nonetheless, I do think all three of these guys are going to have a solid career. And of course, it always depends on where they land with the coaching and how they're able to be molded and everything.